IBIT is the fastest growing ETF in the history of ETFs.
The massive success of the recent release of the Bitcoin ETF has left investors wondering what's next. The underlying narrative space is now open to ask the next most important question: what about the Ethereum ETF? And the stablecoin landscape is constantly growing. Another competitor is entering the ring to fight for liquidity dominance in the stablecoin space. All this and more in today's crypto news. Let's get into it. There are 11 companies offering the Bitcoin ETF on the US stock markets. The release so far has been wildly successful. Since day one in January this year, on average, the inflows have been consistently growing. And that's not all. The total market hasn't even been unlocked yet. So far, the inflows have been attributed mainly to retail customers buying the ETF through the 11 companies directly. But that's a small percentage of the total potential market here. There are still checks and balances that advisory firms and big banks need to go through before they can offer this ETF product to their clients. Here's an example. Morgan Stanley is working to become the first big bank in the US to offer the Bitcoin ETF to its clients. The $1.5 trillion firm cannot just offer the ETF right away. They need to do their own due diligence whilst they're in the race with their competitor banks to offer the product. Here's a quote from ETF analyst Eric Balchunas. He comments that it's a compliance game of chicken. They're waiting for the first mover so that they have cover, and once the first mover is in, it'll likely be an all-at-once type scenario. So you can see this is a gated system that will unlock more value for crypto as time goes on. The Bitcoin ETF narrative isn't over now that it's live. It's just a slow build of more value over time as more potential clients jump on board. Meanwhile, Greyscale, one of the largest holders of Bitcoin in the world, has been using this opportunity to liquidate their stack. Greyscale started the year with over 618,000 Bitcoin and has so far liquidated almost half of their entire holdings. They're a large factor in price suppression right now. If they keep going at their current rate, they'll probably run out by July this year. Greyscale went through a lot of pressure when FTX and Celsius collapsed in the last few years. The crypto companies had a lot of exposure to Greyscale and they had to take back as much cash as possible at the time. This is likely Greyscale de-risking now that that narrative has passed. Ripple is working on releasing a USD stablecoin on Ethereum later this year. David Schwartz, the CTO of Ripple, believes that the stablecoin market, which currently sits at around 150 billion, is set to explode into the trillions over the next few years, and that Ripple is uniquely positioned to take advantage of this opportunity, likely because they've been around in crypto for a very long time and they have a stable product, their XRP coin. Stablecoins are allowing traditional currency to become more liquid on the internet than they otherwise would be through traditional infrastructure. There's a lot of value to be captured behind these movements. It's a slippery slope though. Trusting a company to issue stablecoins requires believing that they will hold $1 for every stablecoin that they have. Before stablecoins, we only had to rely on the central bank to do this, centralizing the counterfeiting risk behind strong regulations. I think this might be a bit of a disaster waiting to happen, as these businesses like Tether, Paxos, and Ripple are tempted by the same profit motives and short-term risky fixes that tempted FTX as a business before they went bust. This doesn't sit very well with me. I think we're going to see the same issues that we saw with staking companies like Celsius and BlockFi permeate through the stablecoin issuing market as the years go on. We'll have to wait and see. That's all for today's crypto news. As usual, this content is educational, it's not financial advice, and you shouldn't invest in crypto unless you're prepared to lose everything. Remember to like and subscribe for regular insights into the crypto markets. I'll see you next time for more crypto news.